there, friends. Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library. And Zephyr and I are here today to talk to you about a book that we're really excited to hype up for you because it's a book that I've been thinking about for quite a while since I read it. And I know that it's a book that is going to resonate with a lot of people. It's very interesting. It has a lot of really great discussion points, and it's just a really all entertaining read. Now, this is actually a book that I read back in the beginning of September with the intention of actually talking about it during October, because I thought when I started it that it was actually going to be a spooky book. So I thought, oh, this is going to be perfect to read and talk about for a video in October. But after I read it, I realized this was not a spooky book at all, and that I really wanted to share it in November instead for a very important reason. And that is because November is Native American Heritage Month. So this is a month where, and it's important to talk about these stories all year round, obviously, but this is a month in particular where we really like to highlight and focus on Indigenous authors and Indigenous stories and characters. So this book is perfect to read this month. Like I said, you don't have to. I read it a couple of months ago and absolutely loved it. But if you're looking for a really great book that is written by an Indigenous author that tells a really fundamentally fantastic story, it's this one. And it's called Harvest House by Cynthia Leitich Smith. Now, as you can kind of tell from the cover, you can probably see why I thought this was going to be a spooky book. And I think that it's kind of almost marketed that way. Like the cover really wants you to think, oh, look, this is a, this is a horror story. And it's not. And it takes place around Halloween, but it's really just not a spooky or creepy, horror book at all. In fact, if it falls under any one particular genre, I would say that this is a mystery story. Now, Cynthia Leitich Smith is a phenomenal Indigenous author. She's written a score of books, young adult and middle grade books that are just absolutely fantastic. So just seeing her name on it, I knew it was going to be good. So this is a story about a boy named Huey. He's in high school, and he's really looking forward to volunteering at this new attraction in his town called the Harvest House. This is where you see behind him. So it was a abandoned, rundown building. Somebody took it over and decided to make it into this like haunted house for the season, and to try to bring in some revenue. And he's really excited to work it with his best friend, until he realizes that the main attraction that they're going to use is to dress up people as this Indian ghost that is this Indian maiden, right, who is actually part of a local legend, because there was a Native American woman who had mysteriously disappeared many years ago, and they are using that is kind of like trauma fodder, right, to get people really interested in it. And Huey is just not about that at all, because it's gross, right, to take somebody else's pain and someone else's culture like that and to abuse it. So he doesn't want any part of it, but he already agreed to volunteer, so he figures he's going to try to make the most of it and try to lessen the damage of this as much as he can. In the meantime, though, there are a lot of weird things that are happening. The animals in town are acting really weird. The wild animals in particular are acting very suspect. Some local Indigenous women have been noticing this creepy person following them. And when one of his friend's sister actually experiences this firsthand, he decides that he is going to investigate what is going on. And when he does, he just uncovers this whole backstory and history that he had no idea was there. So you can see why I definitely would consider this more of a mystery than anything else. Like, yes, it takes place around Halloween and around a haunted house, but there's nothing scary really going on in this story. It's really just this story of this mystery that Huey is trying to solve, and to trying to find out what actually happened to this Indigenous girl that this local legend is built around. So the main thing about this book is that it talks about Indigenous women who go missing, and the way that those that their lives are just not, the police and things just don't seem to care about them as much as they do white women, if white woman goes missing. So there's a really long, awful history of that in this country, of Indigenous women going missing, of getting murdered, of getting kidnapped. And this book really goes into that too, and talks about it in a really sensitive way that if you are even going into this not knowing anything about that, you will learn a lot. And it is not in a way that beats you over the head with it. You learn a lot as the story is progressing, and it's just done in a really, meaningful, impactful way. So if you're looking for a really, really good mystery, I just am going to just recommend this as a mystery whenever people are asking for mystery stories, because it's really, really good, but also with some really, really real world commentary that's just absolutely fantastic. I learned so much, and I just loved Huey. He was just an all-around wonderful guy. I loved reading about him and his relationships, especially with his parents. He had just the sweetest relationship with both of his parents that I absolutely loved. So that was another thing I really enjoyed about this book, was the dynamic between him and the people that he interacts with. His family, his friends, was just absolutely great. And a lot of also the crazy microaggressions that he faces, that him and the other Indigenous girl in his school go through, which really puts you in his shoes. If you're, haven't experienced anything like that before, it was really, really eye-opening. So give this one a shot. Like I said, it's perfect to read this month for Native American Heritage Month, Harvest House. Well, that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that this book sounds really interesting and that you want to give it a shot. If so, please feel free to come check it out from Farmington Community Library. And also, please give this video a like. Thank you so much for watching, friends, and have a wonderful rest of the day.